In this presentation, we will take a look at multiple choice questions related to CVP or cost volume profit analysis, going through the questions and practicing test taking skills within them. First question, a cost that changes as volume changes but at a non-constant rate. A, variable costs. B, curvilinear cost. C, stepwise variable cost. D, fixed costs. E, funny cost. Let's go through that again using the process of elimination. A cost that changes as volume changes, but at a non-constant rate. So the first one is variable cost. Now, that would sound like a variable cost because it changes with volume change. So I'll keep that for now. The second one says curvilinear cost. And that one sounds a little bit funny. Curvilinear cost sounds a little bit strange. But so does the description up top, because we're saying this but at a non-constant rate is kind of throwing us off. So I'll keep the curvilinear for now. The next one says stepwise variable cost. Again, that sounds kind of funny, but it's got variable cost and something else to it, which sounds kind of similar to the description where we have a variable cost and then something funny happening with it. So I'll keep C as well. D says fixed costs, and that doesn't seem reasonable because we're talking about some type of variance here. And E says funny costs, which doesn't seem like a very technical type of accounting kind of term. So I'm going to say probably not E. We'll keep A, B, and C and go through it again. A cost that changes as volume changes, but at a non-constant rate. We have variable cost, curvilinear cost, stepwise cost. Now, the fact that it's a non-constant rate would eliminate the variable cost. So we would think these two, the curvilinear and stepwise, have some kind of variable factor to it, but it's something a little bit different than variable. So I'm going to say it's not variable, and then we're going to go curvilinear or stepwise variable cost. And between those two, we're saying it's a non-constant rate. So the curvilinear is going to be a curve. Stepwise would indicate that there's some kind of consistency. It's not a straight line, but some type of consistency. So if we have a non-constant rate, then you would think we're talking about B here, where we'd have some type of curve happening. The slope of the line, in other words, if you're imagining it, wouldn't be the same. Whereas a stepwise, you can imagine a rigid step and then a flat point and a kind of a rigid step pattern. So we're going with B on this one. Last final answer, a cost that changes as volume changes, but at a non-constant rate. B, curvilinear cost. Next question. A cost with a flat cost line within a relevant range, but that changes to another cost level when volume significantly changes. A, stepwise cost. B, fixed cost. C, curvilinear cost. D, unstandard cost. E, strange cost. Let's go through this again. A cost with a flat cost line within a relevant range, but that changes to another cost level when volume significantly changes. E, stepwise. That sounds somewhat reasonable. I'll keep that for now. B says fixed cost, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be fixed. It might be fixed within some type of range, but it sounds like it's got something more going on than just a fixed type of cost, which would be the same total cost with the change in range. Curvilinear cost, that's what we had prior, so we'll keep that. That's a funnier kind of idea. Sounds like there's more going on, which is the case up top as well. Unstandard cost, yeah, that doesn't sound like a technical term. Typically, it sounds like that's not quite a term. And a strange cost, again, doesn't quite sound like it lines up to what we would think as a normal kind of managerial accounting term. So I'll leave with A and B. Stepwise cost, curvilinear cost. Let's go through it again. A cost with a flat cost line within a relevant range, but that changes to another cost level when volume significantly changes. A stepwise cost, or C, a curvilinear cost. So these are going to be the ones, again, these are some kind of mixed cost typically. And in this one, it sounds more like a stepwise pattern where it's going to be the same for a while, fixed for a while, in other words, and then change at some point where it's going to have a step pattern and go up. Now notice pretty much all fixed costs kind of do that at some point because it's only fixed within some range. So you could kind of think fixed cost, follows that pattern as well. But we're talking here about a smaller range than we would consider for a fixed cost typically. So it's going to have a smaller range, it's going to be kind of fixed, and then it's going to step up at some point in time. And so that would be what we would think of as a stepwise cost, some type of mixed cost, some cost that's going to cause us a little bit more problems than standard fixed and variable costs. Final answer, a cost with a flat cost line within a relevant range, but that changes to another cost level when volume significantly changes, is a stepwise cost.